Hello everyone, this is Animal Lover, and very soon BP06 of the Ultraman Card Game will come out. Maybe it's out for some of you guys already, but for those that are not, I thought I'd do a little card list review to help those that do not know that the card list was already actually a week out before. If you plan to play the Ultraman card game from BP06 onwards, I think this video would be really helpful for you. So with that, let's jump into it. Do take note that I will not be covering every card because that's just too much. Most triple rares are usually good, so I will not touch on them much, but I would like to highlight very special cards or like unique cards that I think makes the pack a bit interesting. But of course, this is all my own opinion. Feel free to think what you think after this video. Now let's begin. First off, we have the Dyna cards. We now have 7 new Dyna cards, and the ones I want to focus on are these cards. Besides the obviously crazy ass triple rare card that we are getting for Dyna, I like to focus on the other 3 cards. Firstly, this new level 1 Dyna states that for a single for each Dyna you have on the field, give this character plus 1000 BP. Another similar to 0 kind of card, and I think this is great because now you are able to run a mono Dyna deck. Next up is this new uncommon level 2, which is on play, you may exile 1 card in the opponent's discard area, and considering the meta has been developing such that more cards are playing from the discard, this is actually pretty good. However, this is a single card, which is different from the Arc card that we have previously. Comparing these two, I feel like the Arc one is better, but nonetheless, I think this is a good addition to Dyna. Last but not least, this new rare level 3 where it states for double or triple, its passive is while there is no scene in the area, give this character plus 2000 BP. And I think this card synchronizes very well with the Dyna meta in general, as the activate gets rid of your scene, and this card on the field, if it's a triple, is a pseudo 18k. However, with scenes being more relevant, scenes will almost always be on the field. So unless there is a way for Dyna to consistently get rid of a scene or keep the lead and not put any scenes down, I think this card might have a bit of trouble to get going. But regardless of that, if Dyna is able to keep the lead and maybe not put any scenes down and keep this passive going, it is going to be a pain in the neck for a lot of players playing this. As we know, 18k is an incredibly big stat line now, and stat lines are only getting bigger as we will see moving forward. Next up is the new Ultraman Max cards, with 9 new cards supporting its arrival. Obviously, with Ultraman Max being the new Ultraman, it has to have a searcher, a scene searcher, a couple of vanillas to buff it up, and additionally that triple rare which is guaranteed to be meta defining. Nothing too out of the ordinary except these 2 cards. Now let me explain. This new level 2 states that for double, if you are the lead player for this turn, you may give this character a BP increase by 1 for this turn. Now this is a new type of card which we have not seen much of, and Max is the first one to introduce this. And this may be pretty relevant in the future because honestly a BP increase is pretty strong. However, it requires you to be the lead player. So honestly, it may or may not be good, but considering the new Max triple rare, you may be the lead player very often and you may actually gain this BP increase a lot more often than we thought. Next up is this vanilla level 3 Ultraman Max, where it's actually a pretty good card. For a double or a triple, when this character enters play, you may give this character's battle opponent minus 1000 BP, and this is really good because now it has a way to counter some Kaijus considering it's a generic battle opponent, and it even has an additional effect, which is if this character's battle opponent has type speed, you may give this character's battle opponent another minus 1000 BP for this turn, which means it's effectively minus 2000 BPs for a speed type, which could be Dyna's very often than not, and it could be orbs as well. And additionally, this double stat line is also a 13k, which is actually really big considering most doubles are 12ks right now. I actually really like this card, and I think this is really strong. You will definitely see people running this in max decks. This card is actually very strong for a vanilla card. Would definitely recommend you try this card. Next up are the orb cards, where there are 7 new orb cards. Besides the 2 new obvious rare cards, the power and speed type for the lead and the next player, there is also the triple rare card. But I like to focus more on the support cards that was given. The new level 1 and level 2 are both basics. So now Orb has more basics to help it activate for its BP up ability, and now it has a new level 3 of type Arm to help target the triple R Orb itself, have a minus 2000 BP. Not the best and not the worst cards to be added. We will need more testing to find out how good they are, but for now I think this is a great addition for Orb. Next up are the Jeet cards, where we have another 7 new cards. Besides the obvious very good new triple rare Jeet, level 2 there is a potential plus 2 for Jeet, which is a consistency increase, which Mono Jeet really needs. There is also the new level 1, where it's mono support, where for each Jeet you can plus 1000 BP to this character. There is also a new type of level 2 Jeet, where for double, the on play is you may give one opponent's character with typed Arm a minus 1000 BP for this turn. A unique level 2 card that we have yet to see before, and it only has 2 stats instead of a normal 3 level 2. Additionally, there is still the new rare card, where if you discard a card and you are able to plus 2000 BP to any character. And finally, I would like to point out this new level 3 Jeet, this 10k, 12k, 17k stat line, where previously only Dyna had this. Now, I am pointing out this card is because it is actually a type basic, which not many level 3 Jeets have. Now, this works perfectly well with the BP05 Jeet. Maybe we might see this Jeet being played more now, even though it's a vanilla. Jeet finally getting the support he needs. I sure hope we see him being more meta relevant in this new BP06 meta. Next up, we have Z support coming in with 7 new cards. With the new triple R, which swaps its scenes, and the new Sevenger Ultramax, you can see that Z is willing to take the kind of Ultramax and Z route, or the Z mono route. So because of that, this new level 1 here, which is similar to the Gil arc that we got before, is now available in Z. And then we have the new level 2, which is to discard 3, and if there's a Sevenger in your discard area, you may plus 1000 BP. Similar to the Ultraman Gaia card, but I believe the whole gimmick for Z is to fill up your discard area, so this is just extra discard fodder. All great stuff for Z, and including new vanillas, which we have not seen other archetypes have before. This Ultraman Z is such that if a special airborne armor, which is a Sevenger, is adjacent to it, it gets a 1000 BP, which is very similar to a Ultraman Blue card. And this new level 3 card, which says that on play you discard a card and you get to BP increase for this turn, which is very new for its card. It definitely fills up your area for Z, and it's only a single or double activation, which is very, very interesting. Next up are the Decker cards, which is again another 7 new cards. Starting out with the rares, you can see that there are intentional designs with mono decks at this point. This level 1 is once again another mono support similar to the others. And now with a new double rare, the Shuffler for Decker, which is what it really needs to not break for future games. And this new double rare, which is extremely strong. It is a single or a triple on play, where you're able to decrease a opponent's BP. And this is actually super strong, considering the only other card that does this is this Blazar card, and it's a triple. And then some special new vanilla cards, this new level 3 where you may draw a card, and when you draw you may return one to the top or bottom to your deck. And this is definitely to help with the new level 4 dynamic type. But it is interesting that they put this in a card. I'd be really interested to know if anybody would run this card in the upcoming Galaxy Cups or future tournaments. It is definitely to increase the consistency of the level 4 dynamic type, and it'd be interesting to see where Decker places in the meta this season. Next up, we have Poster Boy Ultraman Blazar coming in with 7 new cards. Skipping the triple R because we know it's extremely good. If you're interested to find out more, link is in the description. First, for this rare card, it is once again a gear up kind of support here, where obviously they're pushing you towards a Earth Garon Blazar build, and that should be it because Earth Garon probably only works with Blazar cards. And this new double R level 2, where the charge cards are used as consistency cards instead of a plus BP or a downgrade of a BP. So this is a really interesting card. It is definitely only a double, and I'm really interested to see more of these kinds of cards to help the consistency of the overall game. Looking at the other vanilla cards, you have this new level 2, which is, while there is a face down and sideways card, which is a charge card, you may give this character 1000 BP. Now, it may not seem that crazy, but it is actually a single or a double stack passive, and its double stack stat is actually 11,000, which is actually very crazy for this. And considering Blazar is the only one with access to charge, I think this card is actually super strong for uncommon card. Next is the level 2 single or double on play. You may give one of your character type arm, which we've seen before, but we actually never seen a double stat 10k of these kinds of cards before, so that's interesting. And the last one, once again, the level 3 version of the level 2 card, but this time is for every 2 charge cards, and its passive is for a double or a triple. Now, it may sound weaker because it is, but it is still a really strong card. It is a pseudo 17,000 as long as you can get 2 charges. Whether that's too much of a commitment for the new charge cards, I believe that's up to Earth Garon to decide, but these Blazar cards are really good for just Ultraman Blazar itself. Next up is 9 new Omega support cards, even though it is not the poster boy of the set. Covering the new triple R level 3 first, because people may not have seen this since it came out so recently. A double triple on play where you have to discard 1 Reckiness, 1 Trigaron, and 1 Belginus in order to activate the second part of the card, which is a BP increase of 2 to any Kaijus on board with the same name. A ruling just came out where you have to discard all 3, but you don't need all 3 on board in order for the second part of the activation to work. Some may argue this may be too huge of a cost, but with the amount of cards that Omega has that allows you to add a Meteor Kaiju to hand, honestly, this may see more play than the other triple rare, and this may be a mainstay because now Kaijus on the board actually have something more than their on play effect. Next up is the normal rare card, where it is a similar card to the Blazar and the Tiga Ultra or Ultimate deck. And next one is the double rare shuffler, which is definitely what Omega needs, because if there's anything that's stopping this deck from being any better, it's its bricking from all the Kaijus it has in its deck. Talking about the normal vanilla cards though, the one that caught my eye, such as this level 2, which is a double stack 10k again, and gives an arm very similar to Blazar, but it's only a double stack. But this time it has 3 stat lines instead of 2 like the Blazar. Next one is this, a level 2 basic catcher. I am not aware of any other level 2 cards that can catch basic, especially with Ultra Heroes. I could be wrong. Please write down in the comments below. So this is actually really crazy support for Omega, because most group cards are always basics. Next up, with some new level 3s, which is a double for no cost if you have 3 or more Kaijus with type Meteor with each different names. Give this character a BP increase for 1. And personally, I would think this cost is way too much. Kaijus on the board is already a huge risk, even if they are Meteor Kaijus. So to have 3 different Meteor Kaijus on the board is actually taking up probably too much board space, and you'll probably lose even before you get to activate this card. So I could be wrong, but I don't see this card being played very often. However, I do see this next card being played. A level 3 Omega that catches basic type. And this is crazy because if Omega wasn't strong enough, well, this is gonna make it a lot stronger, because besides Victory and I believe Blazar, there isn't another Ultra hero that catches basic as good as they do. Now we have Omega. However, the double stat line is only 12k, which is a bit of a nerf to this card, considering the other catchers are actually 13k, which deal quite a bit of damage when they are on the board. With it being 12, it allows for more ties rather than wins, so it'll be interesting to see whether people are willing to give some space to run this level 3 card. But nevertheless, it is still a really strong level 3 vanilla card. Crazy support for an already really good deck in the current meta. Maybe there just might be a bit of favoritism in this game. Next up, we have 9 new Sevenger cards. And as many new cards there are in Sevengers, there's actually not really much to talk about. The rare level 1 is essentially a level 1 Argul. This level 2 is essentially a level 2 Victory. But the level 3 is a pseudo Arc, although it works a bit differently. It is a Scene Searcher and a Scene Swapper. But there is one really special vanilla card that I like to talk about, which is this new level 3. And it states that whenever a scene is on play, you may give one of your Sevengers or Z plus 1000 BP for this turn. It is a double or triple stack activate. And this is crazy because imagine if you already use the double rare level 3 Sevenger to swap a scene, that's a plus 1000. And then you use the 3 other activates from the new triple rare scene, and then that's a 4 plus 4000 for free on the board. The stat gain you get from finishing that combo is actually insane and really towards Z Game's plan. If you're able to pull it off, I don't see why this won't be a mainstay in this deck. Although really basic, you can tell that this whole deck is meant to just help Zack, and it's doing a pretty good job. I think there may not be any contestable other combinations other than Zack and Sevenger from this point onwards, but I could be wrong. Next up is Poster Boy's support of Garon with 9 new cards. And honestly, there's not much to talk about other than charge. This level 1 is a Searcher and a Charger. This level 1 is a Charger. This level 2 is a Charger. This level 2 is also a Charger. And the theme goes on. The ones with actually interesting effects are their level 3s, like this double rare, which we obviously know is really good. It's an activate and you get to send a charge card to the discard, where you will be able to BP down any of Garon or Blazar, which is really good. I do not need to mention this. And there's level 3 here, which is a single or double on play, where you send the charge card into the discard and you get to plus 2000 BP to itself. This is not really that strong considering it's only a single and a double on play. But I can still see this card being played a bit. Overall, very similar to Sevenger. You can see that Earth Garon is meant to fully support Blazar and is doing a really good job. And I'll be excited to see what it has installed, whether Blazar and Earth Garon will be king or Blazar and Tiga will be king. Next up, we have Belial with 9 new support cards as well. Special things that I'd like to talk about first would be their rare cards. These rare cards saying that while your opponents are Ultra Hero, its BP will increase by 1, and I think this is a really strong rare card because most of the time you'll be going up against an Ultra Hero, so 90% of the time, this will probably activate. Next up, obviously the crazy triple rare, which is the same as Jeet's triple rare, which is essentially a potential +2 provided you reveal 2 different Belial that is not Kaiser Belial. And last but not least, the double rare, which is an activate to help extra BP Kaijus, which it's debatable whether you should be running this, but I think it is good enough if you'll be running a Belial Kaiju deck. Although obviously it means you need to run more Belial cards now, but I think that's why they added so many new Belial cards to begin with. Time for the vanilla cards, which I thought was interesting because this level 5, level 6 are both BP ups only to 0s, and this is pretty funny because this is pretty lore accurate, including this level 7 where for a triple on play, you get to plus 1000 BP to your Dark Clops, and yeah, it is really following the lore right here. There is one good vanilla card, however, that came out of all of this, which is this level 6. Belial finally has this 2-stack 12k card, which most good Ultra Heroes have. Overall, great rare cards, but the vanilla cards a bit too lore accurate, maybe to be usable, but they are still new Belial cards, which is more than what we could ask for. Next up are the Kaiju cards, which you can technically count them as Belial support. Let's start off with the obvious one, which is Dark Clops 0. You can really tell that they are pushing for this Belial Dark Clops deck, but I do not feel this is particularly strong. Its double stack is only 14k, and you need a triple Belial to BP up that your single Dark Clops, which is only 15k. I don't think this will get us anywhere. Kaijus and Ultra Heroes are all much bigger, and it doesn't synchronize well with the new Belial card as well, so I'm struggling to think how a Belial Dark Clops deck will work. On to the next Kaiju, which is probably the best Kaiju to come out of this set, Beamstar, which allows you to exile 1, and if there are 5 or more cards total that are exiled, you get to make it an 18k EX, and this is really crazy because this is a one card combo. Additionally, considering Belial itself has to exile, Blazar has to exile, and even Z has to exile, this might be a really meta relevant card this season. Next up, If, which is the biggest potential Kaiju card of this set, because if it works, it definitely will win you some games. However, it requires a activate opponent, so it is so specific. Your If has to be able to catch a activate opponent, and your opponent has to have activated their ability in order for this ability to be of use. An amazing ability, but too perfect of a scenario to actually be able to pull it off. So I don't think this is as good as people think. As I said, I think this has the highest potential, but it's actually a lot harder to pull it off. Next up, a possible meta-relevant one, even more potential than the If, which is Zomera, which states that while your opponent has both an Ultra Hero and a Kaiju, it becomes an extra BP, which is 18k, which is a really big stat line. And the reason why this has the highest potential is because obviously Omega is in the meta, but also Zetons. With mono decks or Ultra Heroes and Ultra Mech decks on the rise, there's 100% for sure that people will run more of the Zetons to counter these sort of decks. And with that being said, if the Zetons on the board, this card can essentially counter a Ultra Hero that's running a Zeton. So will this become a counter to the counter card? Will people start running this Zomera and Zeton in the same deck just to make sure they do not get caught? Only time will tell, but I am excited to see how this Kaiju will be in use. Other than that, the other Kaijus are pretty lackluster, and I don't think it's worth to cover. Finally, we will cover the scene cards. there are 11 new scene cards and I will cover them one by one. First off, the Dyna level 0 scene, where if discarded, you will be able to plus 1000 to a Dyna. Exactly what it needs to pull off the new triple rare combo. Next up, Proof of Braveness for the max. A round 2 scene which you are able to choose a double or triple max and then you swap it out much like the Mabius cards but from your hand instead. Quite a broken card for max considering that the double in the first, second or third lane will be an incredibly high stat. Additionally, you'll be able to add a 2k BP if you put a triple into your hand, which makes it an effectively 19k plus 2k, which is 21k for your first lane max if you actually pull this off. Extremely broken card, which makes me think that now people will run max as a main. Next up is the round 3 orb scene, where if you have an orb, you may choose 1 or 2 double or triple characters and return those many cards to your hand while you return those many cards from your hand to the bottom of your deck. This activates the triple rare ability but also replace any on-play ability that you have, and this works super well for the Thunder Breaster cards. Exactly what orb needs considering all orb scenes have only been round 1, so a round 3 in an environment where most good scenes are now round 3 is really important, so this is a great card for orb. Next up is the Jeet scene. Choose one of your Jeet. It is an activate, choose one of your Jeet, then reveal one Jeet card from your hand. If the revealed card shares a same type with the chosen character, that character becomes unaffected by any BP decrease. And honestly, I do not know whether it's worth keeping this card on the board and to wait for round 4. I do not know how often BP decreases will be, but this may be a game saver or it may just be a waste of cards. Next up, Zack scene. It's a round 4 scene and it's an activate. If you have Zack, exile a total of 10 cards in your discard area that are Zack or Special Airborne Armor, which is Sevenger. Give all your Zack and Special Airborne Armor each a BP grade increase for this one turn, which is crazy because this is a repeatable round 4 scene card for Jeet. However, it does take 10 exile cards. Next up is a new round 2 decker scene where on play, you essentially draw 1 and discard 1. And if you ask me, this is way better than the round 2 scene we got previously in BP05, which sees little to no play. Next up, a Blazar scene card. Round 3, activate once per turn, reveal the bottom face down and sideways cards under one of your character. It will reveal its Blazar or Earth Garon card, which it will usually be. Put it into play on top of one of your character that is able to level up with it, otherwise send it to your owner's discard area. And this is quite crazy because now planning for charge cards is incredibly crazy. It is a permanent card, which is what Blazar kinda needs now, considering that Scard always requires you to discard, and the new level 2 scene or round 2 scene also requires you to exile. Next up, new round 3 Omega scene, where in short, if you discard a card from your hand, I believe you can trigger one of the single Kaijus on boards on play, and if you discard an Omega card, you'll be able to plus 2000 to that Kaiju. A bit here and there with this card. It is good to activate it on play, but it has to be a single Meteor Kaiju, and it requires you to discard an Omega card. It is really in a difficult place right now, but still a good card. Next up is round 3 Belial scene, which is if you have a Belial, discard a Dustclop card to add 2000 to one of your Dustclop, and then you draw a card. Honestly, even with this card, your Dustclop will be a maximum of 17, maybe plus the new level 7 that Belial has, he'll be an 18. I still do not see Dark Clops Belial being a meta-relevant deck because that's too many steps to take. And waiting for it to be a round 3 in order to activate this card is a bit too long. If this was a round 2, I believe this would be a bit more useful. Next up, new round 1 Zack scene, which is to discard one Sevenger card to give one of your Ultramax plus 2000 BP for this turn. Neither good, neither is it bad. It could just be a new round 1 card for Zack to draw, or for Zack to essentially use as a different name, because Call My Name requires 2 different names, not its Call My Name. Last but not least, round 1 of Garon card, which is just a chart. And that is the end of the list. Whether you think your own Ultra Hero will be meta relevant, only time will tell. And as of now, we really do not know what the new meta has installed for us. Hopefully this card list has helped you in picking out what you would like to play in BP06. Once again, I'd like to mention that this is my own personal opinion. If you think certain cards are better, please feel free to go ahead and try it. Do not let me stop you. And that is the end of the video. Remember to like and subscribe and comment if you would like to see more content from me. Thank you.